Hey Bible lovers, I'm Tim Nichols and I'm here to bring you your Nichols Worth. And today from Crossway, we have 2 volumes of the Expositor's Commentary set. This is volume 2 and volume 3. So this is going to kind of get you from Deuteronomy all the way through 2nd Chronicles. Now this one is a thick daddy. Lift with your legs, build your biceps. Also Psalms is a thick one because I've seen pictures of that. So let's check out what we have here. I am super impressed with this set. I will just let you know that right away. And again, this one is almost 3 inches thick. And this is the one that takes you from 1 Samuel through 2nd Chronicles. So this is kind of like the history of Israel. And then this one is Deuteronomy through Ruth. This is volume 2. This is volume 3. Volume 1 will not be out until August of 2023. So I started with volume 2 and I'm kind of building my way along until I get the whole set. I'll actually be able to get a new one each month through the book review program. So the cover is like a paper overboard. Really nice. It's called a premium hardback. Don't let that trick you into thinking this is leather. This is paper. But it does have really nice spine work, really nice gilding, so it is very ornate and beautiful. It will look good on a shelf. One thing I do recommend, even though the temptation, because the way this spine is laid out, to put this thing on your bookshelf like this, don't do it. Lay it on its side, because these big, thick, heavy books, what's going to happen is that block is going to sag. You can see that already doing this right now, just from me standing it up like this. So I encourage you just to tap it, get it straight, and then lay it on its side so that your block doesn't sag, because that can put a lot of stress right here on that binding and can actually pull it apart from your cover. You're welcome for that great advice. Once you get into the book, this is a paper liner. I don't see a lot of reinforcement tape there, but there may be a little bit just to kind of hold it together. On a big thick book, this could possibly start to break, but I think the thickness of that tape will stop that from happening. Plus, this isn't something you're going to be carrying around. This is a commentary set. Honestly, you're going to keep on your bookshelf. Now let's take a look. It does, if you push it down like this, it does kind of help, but it does want to raise up. This is a thick book, so for it to lay flat the way you want, you're going to have to get several pages into it. But it does tend to keep those pages down. And in the preface, it breaks down its goals to be exegetically sound, robustly biblical, globally aware. I have all these in the written review, just to make sure you check that out. It gives you a list of contributors. It gives you all the abbreviations you're going to need throughout the book to understand what documents and what aspects they're talking about. So let's get into the layout once we get into the actual Bible itself, because this does include the Bible. So we have an intro. Now check out this intro. This is the most robust intro I've ever seen. We have the overview. We have the title explaining why it's titled this way, the author and who they believe wrote it, date and occasion, genre and literary features. I mean, this thing is just thorough. We're several pages in. Theology of Samuel. Each introduction is somewhere between 18 and 20 pages long. This thing is serious for the serious student. The Davidic Covenant. It goes on and gives you links with other biblical books, charts and typology, preaching from 1st and 2nd Samuel, how to preach from it, interpretive challenges. What are some ways that it's kind of a challenge to interpret it into English or to translate it into English? More charts and chronologies. This thing is just loaded. And then it has several pages of just an outline before you get into the final introductory part into the scripture. So this does include the scripture. And this looks to be about 11-point font. A very large print, very nice. It has some ample margin space so you can take your notes and write in that. So you have your scripture, you have your introduction, and then once the scripture portion is completed, so they do it in sections. They usually do it in about 28 to 30 verse sections, and then they overview each section, and that's a lengthy process as well. They give a little outline of the section, and whenever there's notes or extra references that you may want to reference, they have those notes in the bottom in kind of a smaller font. This thing is just, man, it's loaded. I've never seen anything like it. It is the most thorough commentary I've ever seen on a Bible of any kind. So once you get through the commentary, you're going to have clearly marked sections of the scripture again. And there's a lot of commentary. We're still kind of in commentary. Several pages in, we're still dealing with Samuel 1 through 28. And then you get to the 2nd section of Samuel. It's clearly marked, clearly indicated, clear space to let you know this is the scripture, this is the commentary. And it's just on and on and on. This bad boy is thick. And then when you get to the end, there's a scripture index. Now this one has a bibliography. This one does not have a bibliography, so I was a little confused by that, but it's the same layout. As I get each one, I'll try to point out different features just to kind of educate you on what this is and how it works. It does come with one little ribbon to kind of keep you on track, because you're not going to be in several different places in a commentary normally. However, I could see some people wanting to add ribbons to this. So once we get to the end of this one, when we get past Ruth, we have a scripture index and no bibliography. I don't know why. And obviously there are going to be no maps in the back of this. But this thing is slick. They are outstanding. These things are pretty epic. I cannot wait to have them all. There are 12 total. Volume 1 will not be available until August of next year, but you can get the rest of them right now. I recommend you checking them out. God bless you. Keep calm. Jesus on. This is your Nicholsworth.